guys. Thank you for tuning in to Let's Be Real with Shell. I'm your host, Marshall, and how are y'all doing? Um, I know, and if some don't know, this is a very difficult winter that Texas is dealing with, and yes, I do reside in Texas. Um, People are going without the essentials, their electricity, their water. Um, a lot of stores are closed, due to this weather. And it's not just, okay, I'm without my electricity and water for a couple of hours. No, this or a couple of minutes. No, these are 32, 48 hours, days at a time, and still don't have those things. Is people still homeless, trying to find shelter, too cold to walk to shelter, things of the nature. So we're just sending a prayer out to everyone affected by it. I haven't personally been dealing with without the electricity or the water, but I'm not saying that it won't happen. But I am praying that everyone sticks together and pull together and do what needs to be done to get through this trying time in Texas right now, and praying that the end is near. But anyways, moving forward, I wanted to get on here today, not particularly talking about a question I was asked. I will get into that into future podcasts, but something is heavy on my heart, and I just want to talk about some things that I've dealt with, to hope that I would help someone pull through if they're dealing with it or have dealt with it, how to deal with it. Because I still am, and every day is different. But what I want to talk about today is depression. Um, a lot of people say, "Oh, depression, you're just having a bad day." Oh, no, depression is so much deeper than that. Um, Me, I have dealt with depression, um, a lot in life, many years. I'm not saying I'm 100% don't deal with it now. I still have my days. I just learned to cope better. You know, um, the thing with me, because I can only personally speak for myself with depression. I feel like the hardest thing in depression is when you don't have someone to talk to. Because when I tell you that holding it in and not having no one to release that burden off of your shoulder, or just because you just want somebody to listen. Not saying necessarily that I need you to say anything back, that I need you to give me your advice, but just you listening and me knowing that you listening helps a lot. I have been so depressed to where it has made me physically sick. I've been in the hospital behind stress and depression. Two bad mixtures. They gave me all types of medicine. I had a headache, migraine, like a migraine for days. And it caused, I had high blood pressure, which I still deal with that now. But I didn't have nobody to talk to. I didn't. I didn't have that person I could pick up the phone and say, "Look, this is what I feel. Can you just listen?" I had to hold all that in. And with me holding all that in, it caused my mind to just be overloaded with everything I was depressed about. Life wasn't going as I wanted to be. I wasn't happy where like I wanted to be. Things were not falling into place in time. Like I felt like I was just going through a never-ending storm. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. I could not see it. It was not in clear sight. And so I began to write it down. And the reason it helped me is because if I wrote it down, it's kind of like I could get it out of my mind. It's like talking to somebody. No, the paper can't physically talk back to you, but getting your thoughts out of your mind, putting it on paper, does help. Every day, I would just write about what I felt that day, Why am I feeling this way? Things that may make this situation better. Because the mind, that is something so serious in depression. Depression makes you, or made me, such a negative person. I never saw the positive in anything. In anything. If I apply for a job and they turn me down, I just straight go to negative. Not thinking of positive. You know what? That wasn't meant for you to have that job. Something better may be coming. I'm thinking the worst. Thinking the worst. Going to a car lot. I didn't get the car I wanted. They gave me something I didn't want. Not thinking. That car wasn't meant for you to have. You need this car right here. It's a gas saver. It's going to get you where you need to go till you get something else. That car was going to be too high for you. You weren't going to be able to afford it. It was hard for me to think of the positive in situations. Hard for me to think of, okay, that door was closed for a reason. With depression, you have your days. I call them episodes. I still have them. Some days I'm at a high. I'm so happy. I'm thinking positive. And the next day I could be down in the slumps. Stressed. Worried. Depressed. It's crazy to me how one day I can be in such a good mood. And then the next day, it's just like, I feel like the world is just crumbling down. And not even just the next day. Sometimes my whole mood can switch within an hour's time. Because I dwell on things that I cannot change. Instead of me trying to think of how could I change it, I'll just get depressed about it. I'll get down about it. I'll get sad about it. And that wasn't the way to go. So if you have somebody to talk to that you feel in your heart, it won't judge you, criticize, that can just be that listening ear, won't have your business all out in the streets. Man, if you have that, it's like you got gold. I still don't to this day have that. So I cope with it the best way that I can. But if you have that person that you can vent to, that you can talk to, let them know, get it off of your chest, off of your mind, off of your heart. Because you will feel a type of relief that you have been wanting to feel for a long time. It's like carrying something heavy and someone comes and helps you carry it. It's like, oh gosh, I can stand up a little bit better now. Man, thank you. That feels a lot better. Because trying to carry that load by yourself will make you sick. Depression and stress. I know I said I'm speaking on depression, but stress is I'm speaking from my experience. Depression and stress, those two things right there, I feel will take you straight to the grave, because the both of them has something to do with your mind. Your mind. I have had all kinds of thoughts that if I let them get the best of me, if I had not grew up in church and know that there is a God, I can say that I would not be here. I would not. If I would have allowed the devil to get in my head. Not saying I didn't let him open the door, but if I would have let him come all the way in, have a seat, kick up his feet, I would not be here today. But because of how I was raised and the God I know, I am still here. And I know that there is a reason why I'm still here. And I am trying to find my purpose. I don't know if that purpose is to help someone or not, but that's what I'm going to try to do, is to speak my truth, my story. Because it may be someone out there going through something, or maybe feeling the same way, and they don't have an outlet. So, depressed and stressed. When I was early 20s, I was very stressed out, like life. I had got pregnant as a teenager. I had no choice but to grow up fast. And stress took over my mind completely. I was just stressed out about how am I going to do this? What am I going to do about this? How is this going to go? This is not going this right way. I don't have a car. I don't have this. I don't have that. And so one day I woke up and I was in the worst pain I have ever felt in my life, in my body. It was my side, somewhere on my stomach was hurting so bad. It brought me to tears. I could not move. And I was staying with a friend. And I just said, you had to take me to the hospital. I don't know what's going on. I knew it wasn't nothing simple. It had to have been something serious. And I had already been up all night stressing, like stressed out, because things just was not happening the way I wanted them to happen. So she took me to the hospital, and they was there. They was running all this tests. I'm still sitting up here in excruciating pain, waiting on them to give me something. And so when they came in, they said, we're going to had to have emergency surgery. And I'm looking like, what? What is going on? And they were like, we got to take your gallbladder out now. And so I don't have time to even wrap my head around anything. Didn't have time to call family. Really nothing like that. It was just like a rush situation. My friend, she dropped me off at the emergency room door, helped me to sit down, and she had to go to work. So it would just be there by myself going through this, getting this news. So depression started sinking in at that time. Like, I don't have nobody. I'm here by myself. I'm stressing out about the surgery now. Knowing before you go into something like that, you need to be as calm as you need to be. My blood pressure shooting up and all things of that nature. It just, my mind was just going at 100 miles per hour of like, what is going on? So I'm prepping for surgery. And, I have my surgery and I get out and I feel better. But it was some type of syrup substance or something of that nature that was in my gallbladder. They just had to get it out. But they asked me, how have you been? Like, have you been dealing with anything? Or, asked me just like history or whatever. And I just told them, hey, I've been stressed out a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. I've been stressed. I have not had any sleep. I'm not eating right. My health is just feel like it's just going down. So that's why I say that stress and depression can affect your health. Depression and stress can affect your mental health. One point in time, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna lose my mind. I used to pray for sanity. Lord, keep my mind. I'm not trying to be on here, all about religion and things like that, but I'm telling you what I know. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't know where my help come from, honey, because I know. And it's not from man. So I'm not gonna, drag this out. It's more to come, with this topic and and dealing with this type of thing. But the advice that I can give now is find an outlet. Find someone you can talk to. Pray. If you believe in God, and I hope you do, pray. Pray for your mind. Pray for your heart. Pray for everything in general. If you don't have no one to talk to, as I didn't, write it down. Get it out your mind. Writing it down, putting it on paper was like, okay, I'm writing this down. I'm closing that. That's the end of that. I'm not going to think about that no more. And then I wrote down, hey, these are the things I can change. The things I can't, Lord, I'm going to pray about it and go on. So I don't take depression lightly. I don't take it when someone says they're depressed lightly, because I know where it has drove me to. I know where stress has drove me to in life. I feel like that's just something we're going to deal with on and off because things are not going to always go our way. If it did, the world would be a better place, but it doesn't go like that. You learn to cope with it. I learned not to stress myself out so bad. I try not to lose sleep behind anything because losing sleep, not eating, you're affecting your physical body. It's already bad enough that the stress and the depression is messing with you. But you not getting the things that your body need is only going to make things worse as well. So, in summary of all of this, depression is real. And I know it's real because I have dealt with it for many, many years. And I'm not saying that I still don't, but I am learning to get through it. I'm learning not to think the worst. I'm learning not to let it get the best of me. And that's something as an individual that you have to learn. No one can tell you. It's easy for somebody to say, oh, girl, don't worry about that. Honey, you're not going through it. You get through things the best way that you can, but do not hold it in. Because that will make things worse. Find an outlet. Find that person that you can trust. If you can't, go to God, go to paper. You will realize that writing it down, getting it out of your mind, helps a lot. It's not going to just make you forget completely, about the depression or what I'm feeling. But it does help with the burden of feeling, I got that off my chest. Write it in a journal. But anyways, there's more future podcasts to come, speaking on this. And if you have anything you want to hear, any topics, any questions, make sure you email me at letsberealshellpodcast@gmail.com. It will be in my bio below. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for tuning in.